Welcome to Part 3 of Instructional Delivery, Parent Communication and Homework. A student's home environment has tremendous influence on his or her success in school. That is not new information to any of you, is it? But engaging parents in their child's learning and finding meaningful ways to involve them is not always so obvious. Everyone is busy, and there is just so much to do in so few hours in a day. But keeping parents informed and involved can be done, and it doesn't have to be extravagant or all-consuming. In fact, you have all the information you need. You just need to make the sharing of it routine. Let's first make it clear that we're not talking about involvement for the sake of involvement. We're talking about involvement that will improve their child's, your student's, learning. This is done by engaging parents in a way that directly relates to their child's academic progress, maintaining a consistent message of what is expected, and reaching parents directly, personally, and with a trusting approach. Some of the most important information a parent can receive is how their child is progressing relative to the standards-aligned objectives included in the unit plan. This addresses the first indicator of Part 3. All teachers systematically report to parents the student's mastery of specific standards-based objectives. One way to implement this practice is by way of the class progress chart, which we introduced in the instructional planning module. This class progress chart helps you keep track of each student's mastery of specific objectives so that you can target instruction to specific students and also identify learning patterns among students. For example, several students may be having difficulty with the same objective, alerting the teacher to a potential alignment or instructional issue. We have made this class progress chart very convenient for you to use as a communication tool with parents, too. All you have to do is isolate the student's line and send it home to parents, like this. This attention to mastery of standards and objectives helps to educate parents on the meaning of learning standards, standards-based assessment tests, and how they can help support their child's success. In addition to report cards and interim reports, regularly reporting this information to parents and getting them familiar with the world of standards and assessments and all of the work in between will help you achieve your goal, every student achieving mastery. It's great practice to ask parents to sign, comment on, and return a copy of the correspondence that you send home, like the student progress chart, interims, and report cards. But first, let's take a look at our next indicator so that you're organized to collect and file them. All teachers maintain a file of communication with parents. Whether reports, charts, or even notes from a phone call or conversation, maintaining a file of communication with parents is a great practice. It is helpful to have on hand for lots of reasons, including parent-teacher conferences. It serves as a reminder to follow up on any concerns or issues that have arisen and just stay on top of the students' learning needs and how they can be met at home and at school. Let's see how some schools put this indicator into action as we listen to teachers and principals share their experiences with parent communication.
We communicate with parents in a lot of ways. I mean, we're really fortunate we have an electronic world. Email, of course, is a perfect communication tool. I can send grades, individual assignment grades, overall grades, updates. We send progress reports every 2 weeks to all parents. The ones who do not have email, we can of course send paper copies to. The phone is always, key, and I meet with lots of parents. If there's problems arising, I'm not hesitant to send out that email right away or that phone call right away. We're also fortunate here at Mount Vernon High School. We have something called Touch Base, okay? And in that, we actually start the school day a little later. The kids get to sleep in. That's like their favorite thing. And who comes in are their parents. And all the teachers are all sitting at a bunch of tables all throughout the gym. We're all in alphabetical order. And the parents go around, find all of their individual students' teachers, and they can have a little mini conference. So I can see all those parents, and that typically happens several times in the year. We do it once in the fall, right off the bat, so we can get to meet the kids right away, the parents right away. So, and the parents, of course, also get introduced to us at a back-to-school night. So that's their chance to listen to us. But in that little touch base, I've got 3 minutes or so where I can actually reach out to them. And one of the most important things to me is to make sure my parents know how to contact me, okay? Because so many times these parents, they're almost afraid to reach out that first time. Well, it'll all take care of itself. I'll take care of itself. I want to make sure they know I'm approachable. Our grading program actually has a space where we can write in notes underneath, and I can make a log entry of every time I talk to a parent on the phone. And of course, with email, you have a written, record, and I can reference specific days on those notes, and the notes on our spreadsheet, our grading program. So if I know I talked to a parent on February 2nd, I can make a little note, underneath the grade book, right, specific to that student that I spoke to, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so on this day. And I can actually have that note show up on the progress reports, and then I know for sure who I was talking to. If that progress report goes home and says, I spoke to you about this, and I may not have, then we can, deal with issues that way. So I like to keep those notes right there on the grade book, because then there's a clear communication between parent and myself. Here's how our communications have gone, whether it be email. I can do the same thing email-wise. I can say, hey, on February 2nd, exchanged an email. And then I can, that little note in and of itself would allow me to go back and electronically check very easily what email was sent on that day.
In regards to parent-teacher communication, in the past it was a little bit of a concern for us because we would wait till the end of a quarter and get many emails from parents upset that nobody had communicated with them when their child was not achieving at the level that they thought that they should achieve. So this year we implemented, it's mandatory here at our school that teachers send progress reports home to parents every other Friday. And so it's a school-wide thing. It's an expectation so that parents know along the way how their child is doing and can intervene where there's still time to help them improve that way. And I told the teachers that, you'll have less parent-teacher conferences at the end of each quarter if you're communicating with parents along the way. We want the parents to help us help the children to be able to improve while they still have time to do so within the quarter, not at the end of the quarter when there's nothing that they can do to help the child succeed. It's a program that we use called IG Pro, and it's pretty much their grade book. So a teacher will send home through email or can provide a hard copy to parents exactly what each assessment and the grade that goes along with that assessment. And they have the ability to put in specific notes about each individual child, and most of them use that.
Every Wednesday after school, we have ParentTeacher Conference where they can call the counselors and they can meet with up to 3 teachers every single Wednesday. Also, of course, we have the automated calls where if your child is absent, homeroom teacher marks them absent or tardy and it automatically calls the house. But also each teacher is responsible for parent contact. If you're having problems with a student, you see a student's falling behind, if they're tardy, you see that they're getting a little close to having a certain amount of tardies, it is up to the teacher's responsibilities, which we are, aware of that we are to contact the parent and, of course, keep a contact log.
Excellent. My teachers are required to keep parent contact logs because we actually do track parent communication. We are in a struggling neighborhood with a lot of our parents really living on the margin, many of them not such great school experiences themselves. So we have a core of parents who have been in the neighborhood a long time, who are very active in our school, but it's a struggle for us to get our parents in. Anytime we do things in the evening, we always have children perform so we can get parents in. So we try to do, all of our teachers have their email addresses on their web pages so the parents can email them at any time. We have a 24-hour rule here. If you receive a communication from a parent, you are to respond within 24 hours. Not more than 2 days should go by that a parent should have to wait for a conference. So we really push to meet the needs of our parents. It is an ongoing challenge for us to get our parents involved in our school but it's something that we actively pursue. It is part of our accountability plan, and we have a lot of strategies in place to make it happen as much as possible. Parents are welcome to come here anytime to have lunch with their children. They just come to the office and sign in and get a badge and meet them for lunch. Every single day they're welcome to do that. We are right in the middle of organizing a Grandparents' Day, so we can try and get them in for lunch. It's a constant thing. We have a parent liaison position that Norfolk Public Schools provides for all of their schools, and her sole role is to increase the involvement of our parents. We have workshops for our parents every other week on something that has to relate to helping their child be successful with school.
As you saw here, there are many other ways to facilitate communication with parents. Perhaps the most obvious and regular interface between the school and the home is through homework. Homework doesn't just provide an additional opportunity for students to practice their new skills and knowledge. It also provides a tangible way for parents to get involved with their child's learning. Parents are best able to support the school's purposes for homework when they understand what is expected of their child and of them. These purposes and expectations should be consistent across and among grade levels and subjects for lots of reasons. Among them, to avoid confusion and misunderstandings among parents, school, and students, and to also reinforce independent study habits among students. There are a few guidelines that you should follow when assigning homework. Among them are 2 indicators that we would like to highlight. All teachers regularly assign homework, 4 or more nights per week. All teachers check, mark, and return homework. Teacher comments on homework are critical. Not only do they offer a way to reinforce or correct student learning, but commenting on their work sends a message that what they've done matters. It gives weight to homework. The same goes for grading homework and promptly returning it. Well, that brings us to the end of this module, Instructional Delivery. Thank you for participating in the Indicators in Action series. We know that this information and real classroom footage will prepare you to start putting these indicators to work in your classroom. If you have any questions about any of the modules, would like more information on something you've seen or heard, or are just interested in learning more about the indicators and the research that supports them, visit the Center on Innovation and Improvement's website. You can also email us at action@adi.org. Thank you.